Okay, YouTubers, today we're going to change out the float on the fuel sender in the left tank that stopped working because when I looked in there with my other scope, it showed that the actual float had fuel in it, so it wouldn't float anymore. So we're going to change the float out on this. This is what I'm looking at. This is inside the wing. Let me back up here a little bit and you'll see what I'm talking about. Here is the wing. It's up here. This is where it normally hooks on to the aircraft. This is the, right there's the front spar fitting. Down in there, there is the unit. And I'm going to take a really long screwdriver, unhook the two wires. One wire is a ground, one is a sender, and as you can see it's got a little red arrow marking up, which would be normally up on the wing when it's in that position. And if everything goes right, we'll be able to slip it out, bring it outside here, and change the float, and we'll be all good. I don't know how I'm going to show you how this is happening because you're looking right through the hole that I have to see to get there, but we'll do it in stages, I guess. So here is the unit, and what I'm going to do is reach in and take the tab off, the tab there on the wire there, unscrew the wire that's holding the ground, and there's two screws in there that you don't want to undo all the way because they hold the actual plate. There's a plate on the inside that clamps it to the tank with the gasket, so let's see how hard it is to get it out. Okay, tubers, as you can see, there is a split ring on this unit here. You can see the notch in the ring. That allows you to slip it into the hole and still have it be a backing plate on the inside. And these two screws hold it in position. One of them happens to be the ground screw, as you can see. But there is the float, and you can see there is fuel inside the float, and it appears there at the little tip, that's where the problem is. And luckily, I'm pretty sure, now this is all bent crooked like this and everything because of the way the tank sits in the airplane. It allows it to give you an accurate fuel reading, even though the tank is fairly shallow, etc. But that's all done as part of the plans, that kind of Z-bend there. And it lets it come up like it sits in the tank like this, and so the fuel raises it up and you get the full lever and you get the full action. As you can see, it would be sitting in the tank like this, and that would be going towards full, and you can see the float moving, blah blah blah. So what I'm going to do is just leave this kind of hang right here. We're going to change the float out, and then we'll put some more sealant around the gasket and stuff here, and put her back on. And as you see, there's the hole in the tank, and it's nice and clean. Look at it this way. Well, the wire's in the way. There it is. You can see into the fuel tank itself. So everything's looking good. Just gotta change out this float. Okay, YouTubers, there's the new float. It's all in there nice and snug. It is a little bit different than the original float. The original float was a little bit narrower and a little bit longer. This one's a little bit shorter, but a little bit fatter. So I adjusted the clip here, and that's not going to come out of there. And even if it does, it's not going to be blocking the fuel line or anything like that because it'll be floating. And it just means my gauge will start to read 0 again. So anyway, that's all back together. And I'm pretty sure I put it on the right side of the wire, because that's going to go in there just like that. Yeah, that'll be great. And it fits in the groove, and this is nice and snug. It's not going to go anywhere. So we're going to put a little bit of gasket compound around the opening here. Maybe a little bit on the gasket on both sides, and then we'll put it back in and we'll be done. Okay, YouTubers, here's the next step. We have the gasket all nice and sticky. You can see the compound that's on there. And I have 2 screws placed with the washer with the notch. So I should be able to shift that baby in there and slip it in and then get the other screws in. So here we go. Okay, YouTubers, it took a little while to get all the screws started and all straight and get it all lined up. But the actual edge of the screws sit on the circumference of the hole, so it kind of self-aligns, and you can see that crimp in the plate that follows the screws around. That helps put a seal. The seal goes kind of outside of the screws there. But we're all back together. It's all lined up with the arrow, and we should be good. It's all nice and tight. The wires are all backed up, hooked back up. Unfortunately, there's no way to test to see if it actually works until I put fuel in it with the wing put back on, and then we'll see if it leaks, and we'll see if it registers like it's supposed to. Just to let you know how hot I got. As you can see, they've done a little bit on the wet side. But it's done, so now all we can do is wait and see. And once again, there is the float with the fuel in it and the obvious point of leakage. So there we have it, all finished, all put together, ready to go. Take care.